Is there going to be this postponement?
It looks very much like there definitely is going to be a postponement. We're all just waiting for the absolute final word from Theresa May. She's expected to speak she said she's going to speak at 3:30 p.m. UK time, so 4:30 p.m. here in Paris. That's in 2 hours from now. We've also heard from a junior government minister, this coming down the Reuters newswires to us, saying that Theresa May is going to head back to Brussels to discuss Brexit. So, yes, it very much seems that vote is not going ahead tomorrow evening.
Because we had the EU come out and saying just today, in fact, that there's no renegotiating. So why postpone this vote?
Well, Theresa May looks absolutely sure not to win the vote, essentially. She needs to get a magic number of 318 members of the House of Commons, the House of Parliament, to vote in favour of her deal, to have the majority. On the latest figures that we've seen, she looks likely to be about 200 MPs short of that. So how could she possibly get this deal through? Well, you change people's minds or you change the deal. There's not a lot of wiggle room in that. There's a lot of very fundamental opposition to this deal. A lot of it comes back to this so-called Irish backstop, trying to avoid the hard border on the island of Ireland. The provisions in that angered many, many people, saying that the UK could end up locked into a relationship with the EU, where the UK has to be taking rules from the EU but has no say in them for an indefinite period of time. We have now seen legal advice that was given to the UK government that says that this sort of transition limbo period could actually be continued for an indefinite period of time under international law.
So those 5 days of debate clearly went nowhere for the Prime Minister. Now, speaking of Theresa May, just ahead of this crucial vote, which was supposed to take place tomorrow, the European Court of Justice has come out and said, the UK could stop Brexit if it wanted to. What exactly is in this ruling?
Yeah, OK. So this ruling that's been brought by a group of Scottish lawmakers, MPs, MEPs as well. They wanted to just clarify exactly how the Article 50 process, as it's known, works. And the European Court of Justice said that the UK can unilaterally cancel Brexit. This has to be done, I quote, in accordance with its own national constitutional requirements. There has to be a democratic process in order for this to happen. Essentially, it means that the Parliament can order the government to revoke Article 50, which would see the UK leave the EU or start the transition out of it on March 29th of next year. In the text that I read through, it says that this is intended to clarify options for MPs who would be making that choice. And it brings us back to something actually Theresa May herself mentioned when she got this deal with Brussels. She said it's this deal, no deal, or no Brexit. That was quite quickly dismissed, the idea of no Brexit overturning the whole thing. But at least on a legal footing, the European Court of Justice has now said this is something that could happen from the UK Parliament. No other European member state could veto the UK stopping its withdrawal. That's very, very important. Just wanted to say one more thing about Brussels. We've talked about Theresa May going back to Brussels trying to renegotiate the deal. That's not necessarily an option for her at this point, according to what we've heard from various Brussels voices. Jean-Claude Juncker saying the same thing he said when the deal was ratified. This is the deal on the table.
This is it.
The best deal. There is no other deal. The Irish Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar, has been speaking just in the last hour or so, saying, no, the UK can't renegotiate the withdrawal agreement. We've offered a lot of concessions already, he said. We can't open up any one aspect without opening up all the aspects. So essentially saying, don't think you can tinker with the Irish backstop without the whole thing coming back open again. That looking very, very difficult indeed. There is the political declaration that went alongside the withdrawal agreement. It's a non-legally binding document, a sort of a statement of intent. There could definitely be some wiggle room there, but I don't want to speculate too far.
Interesting timing for this